Welcome to an episode of InRange. I'm coming to you today with an update about the FK BRNO 7.5 pistol, the PSD variant. These come in at about $1,500, and this is the full-size one. I did a video about this a couple of years ago now, and actually used it as my rifle and my pistol at a two-gun match because the 7.5 FK round is a roughly 95 grain bullet at 2,000 feet per second. Which in my opinion places it kind of as an intermediate cartridge being fired out of a handgun, which is why the FK BRNO PSD pistol exists, and it is around this proprietary cartridge, the FK 7.5, of which there's a wide variety of different types of loads with essentially solid copper projectiles, hollow points, everything you can imagine. All of them, of course, being quite effective in terms of self-defense, but also for just ballistic capabilities. That said, it's a big, heavy, large gun. And it had some deficiencies, quite honestly. It was optics ready, but it was set up with a weird plate system. And the reality was I only could find a hollow sun that would fit it. I'm sure you could fix that. And the ammunition, of course, became scarce and difficult to acquire. And now, I received this recently. Kind of came out of the blue, to be honest with you, probably because of my work about this, and I'm appreciative of this. A U.S. company, Tescosa, has brought the FK BRNO Compact version to the market, and they are now the ammunition manufacturer and producer here in the United States. So not only can you get a smaller, lighter version of this gun, that is, by the way, acro ready. That was super nice. I have a Steiner MPS on there, which is acro style mounting. But you can also get the ammunition. Now, between the two, they don't seem too dramatically different, and both have an MSRP of $1,500. The full-size gun has a barrel length of 5.3 inches. The compact is 4.3 inches, so an inch shorter. The overall length of the full-size gun is 9.05 inches. Overall length of the compact is 8.1 inches, so an inch shorter. The height of the full-size gun is 5.75 inches. This is 5.1, so about 3/4 of an inch shorter in terms of overall height. The full-size gun comes in at 2.45 pounds. This comes in at 2.3 pounds. The full-size gun holds 16 rounds of 7.5, and this holds 14 rounds of 7.5. All they did was really reduce the length of the magazine. That said, I've come to find if you have the full-size 16-round magazine, you can use it in the compact, and it just sticks out the bottom a little bit. So what you have here is pretty much just a smaller, lighter version of the gun with a more modern optics sighting system, a little bit less capacity. Even though it's really 2.3 versus 2.45 pounds, I got to tell you, in holding them, this is subjective, but much smaller and lighter, even though on paper it isn't. So the other thing that Tescosa is doing is by bringing ammunition to the U.S. market so that it's readily available, is the cost of 7.5 FK ammunition has been around $100 a box. And in the letter they sent to me with this gun, they're working to get that down to $60 a box, which makes that a much more reasonable thing to shoot. That said, this is a specialty gun with specialty ammunition, and you're going to pay for that. That said, it brings performance to the table you're not going to find really anywhere else. Additionally, you can get barrels for either one, the full size or the compact, to convert this to 10 millimeter. So if you're having difficulty in getting the FK75 ammo or just don't want to pay the premium for it, you can drop in a 10 millimeter barrel, and the standard magazines work for 10 rounds, whatever, whether you have a 16 round or 14 round magazine, 10 rounds of 10 millimeter in the magazine, and you now have a 10 millimeter gun. And I can tell you, this gun being designed to shoot 7.5, when you drop the 10 millimeter magazine or round barrel in this, this is a pipsqueak. It feels like shooting a 9 millimeter. It's quite pleasant, even with full power 10 millimeter ammunition. Okay, so here we have the full size gun, and now the compact right here below it. And here is the compact magazine, and the full size magazine. You can see it is just slightly shorter. which is why it has 2 rounds less capacity. But as I said, you can use the full-size magazine in the compact. However, everything about these is otherwise kind of the same. Same controls, everything about them is the same, except the acro mounting point is a big deal to me. That said, as I said earlier, when you hold them, it feels substantially lighter and smaller, even though on paper it doesn't seem that way. Even looking at them, they look the same, but this feels a lot smaller and more compact. It's really amazing how much a little bit of a difference can make in terms of making this, what seems like larger than a full-size pistol, feel like a normal pistol right here, yet you're still getting that 7.5 ammunition capability. I'm sure there's a little bit of velocity loss with the barrel difference. Let's go shoot this. Let's do some chronographing between the two. I've got the standard low-end version of their cartridge right here. This is the flat nose, lead-free, all copper, 101 grain bullet, rated for 1950 feet per second. So that's 850 foot-pounds of energy. Now, I think that's for the 6-inch barrel, as it says right here on this. Let's go test it out with the chronograph and see what we get. Okay, this is going to sound like a product placement, but it's not. Bought this with my own money. But part of the reason you haven't seen me do chronograph work here on the channel is because they're all terrible. And this little guy, Garmin, has solved that problem. It's the Xero, X-E-R-O. I guess it uses radar or some magic. But this is an incredible little piece of kit. It's expensive. It's like 600, 550 bucks. But you put it on a tripod, turn it on, and just start going. And I have not had it yet not record a shot. It also calculates foot-pounds of energy, all that stuff. So again, this is a demonetized channel. We don't take any ad money. This is not sponsored. I'm just telling you because this thing is awesome. All right, I've got the chronograph set up, and I've got 5 rounds of the ammunition here, and this is the full-size gun, so we're going to do this as our control. 1942. 1924. 1902. 1911. 1930. Gives us our summary here. We've got an average of 1922 feet per second, spread of 39.7, and let's see here, average kinetic energy of 828.6 foot-pounds. That's with the full-size pistol. Let me go get the compact, and we'll do the same thing again. Okay, here I am with the compact gun, 5 rounds. Let's see if we lose a lot. 1776. 1776. 1769. 1774. 1765. So we definitely lost some velocity. All right, with the compact gun, we've got an average of 1772 feet per second, a spread of 11 feet per second, which is quite a bit less for some reason. Same ammunition, same everything, with an average kinetic energy of 704.3 foot-pounds. So yeah, we lost, what, 100 and something foot-pounds of energy. However, this gun is so much more convenient than that full-size one, and I mean, can you really argue with this sort of performance? I mean, this is a pretty powerful cartridge we're looking at here. I am not concerned that this is going to be underpowered. 7.5 compact model versus spinner. So you might be surprised that took more shots than it should have. Maybe I could have done more doubles. But the spinner really prefers mass over velocity. Kinetics, kinetic energy, all this stuff is a science that's well beyond the scope of this video. But it went over, and we're not in an opportune firing situation here, and I haven't lubed that thing ever. I keep that dry. But it certainly does the job. Overall, here's what I'm going to say. I really liked the gun when I got it in the full-size edition, the PSD, And I like this compact model even more. The reality is this is a much more carryable piece, and with the right ammunition, it would pretty much serve you in any purpose you'd ever need practically. Whether it's for bears, self-defense, hunting, this thing's going to do all that for you with the right ammunition. So if you're interested in an exotic gun, or you're interested in a 10 millimeter that can also do 7.5, I recommend it. This gun, when I first saw it at SHOT Show, I was like, eh. And then when I actually got one and shot it, I was like, oh, I get it now. Very flat shooting cartridge. One of the advantages you're not seeing here is it's quite easy to hit things at long range with this because of the velocity, the bullet weight. It shoots quote unquote flat, and therefore 100 and even 200 yard targets are engageable with this. And I've done that on video before on the channel. So that's something that this does that we're not showing you here today. So again, if you're interested in something that's like kind of exotic, very powerful, I recommend it. The PSD Compact is now available here. You can get the ammunition. It's available. It's domestically manufactured. And if all goes wrong, you can still convert it to 10 millimeter if you get the 10 millimeter barrel. So kind of hard to go wrong across the board. I want to thank them for sending this to me. They sent me the original full-size gun, and they sent me this one. So they've been very generous to the channel, to be honest. That said, the time to do this, the chronograph you saw here, this is all crowdsourced and crowdfunded from viewers like you. We do not take any money from anybody except you, the viewer. This is not a sponsored ad or a sponsored video. This was just sent to me out of the blue. Quite honestly, I was like, oh, cool. Very nice to see. And now I can do a cool review for you, and I appreciate that. I'm sure it's because of the previous content we did with the full-size gun. But that said, even though this gun was sent to me, this video, the ability to do this kind of honest review for you is because of viewers like you. Patreon.com/InRangeTV. If you already support us, thank you. If you can consider it, please do. Every dollar counts. And if you can't, I do understand. Subscribe to the channel, click the bell. Probably won't help you. But if you want to be an organic algorithm for us, share this video with your friends, because you can get this video to people's eyeballs that the YouTube algorithm definitely will not. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.